My name is Pontius Pilate, governor here in Judea, and all's under my rule. I'm married to a magnificent, beautiful, powerful woman, granddaughter of Caesar Augustus himself. She was raised among leadership. She knows what it takes to command. And together, what a team we are. And it's because of her encouragement that I'm here talking with you to process as a leader an issue that I had recently in Judea with some silly Jews. The Jews are a curious, frustrating people. I've had my run-ins with them in the past. So many rules and spiritual, religious laws. It makes no sense to a rational Roman. No logic at all. They proved this to me when they brought me this man, Jesus. My servants woke me early in the morning, and they said that the Jewish leadership was standing outside my door, yet again. So I prepared myself, and I met them at the door, and I began with the normal proceedings. I inquired, what has he done? What has the criminal done wrong? What crime has he committed? They bumbled over themselves, didn't really have a good answer. They were wasting my time. This is Rome! So I said, bring him to me. I took him aside in my chambers, and he was a Jew like them. And he said something about his kingdom is not of this world. Whatever that means. But he did say something that piqued my interest. He said, I've come to bear witness to the truth. What is truth anyway? So, being a Jew and under Herod's jurisdiction, technically, I sent him over to Herod. Herod had his fun with him. Had always wanted to meet him, I guess. Sent him back to me because he could find nothing wrong with him. No fault. So when they sent Jesus back to me, I decided I would have him flogged. Criminal punishment. Flog him. My soldiers had fun with him too. Supposedly a king, right? Crown of thorns on his head, throw an old purple cloak on his back, and worship the king. So after beating him, I figured they would get the message. So I brought him back to the Jews, which had now become a crowd outside my palace. And I said, behold the man, I bring him out to you because I find no guilt in him. I figured these silly Jews, this would be the end of it. A Roman judgment, a Roman beating, done. Before I could release him, they yelled, crucify him. Crucify him? I have to admit, I had to contain the look of shock on my face because they had no good argument. This man was innocent by all means that we could find. Crucifixion is a horrible thing. So I stood my ground and I said, do it yourself. Then they yelled, he calls himself God. That's when the shiver of fear went up my spine. I remembered when he had said, my kingdom is not of this world. I immediately called Jesus back into my chambers. This would have to end here. This is the might of Rome versus some measly, superstitious religion. So I looked at him and I said, who are you? Where do you come from? He said nothing. Fear, intrigue, questions, anger, it all rose from within me. And I got in his face and I said, you will not speak to me? Do you not understand? I have the authority to release you or crucify you. And he said, you would have no authority at all unless it had been given to you from above. From above? How did this measly Jew know my internal struggles? How did he look right inside me? How did he know that I was some middle-class Roman living outside of Rome who had risen through the ranks, who sat on a deck of cards, a house of cards that could fall at any time, and was just worried and concerned, and he looked right inside me. Looked right inside me and knew me better than I knew myself. And that's when I knew. I mean, I don't know. That's when I knew I had to free him. Brought him out of my chambers. And they invoke the name of Caesar, of all people. And they said, anyone who calls himself king is no friend of Caesar. And I knew they were right. But this was not right. How do I maintain the strength of Rome and deal with this God, truth bearer, whoever he is? This is how Rome works. You hand down your judgment, the criminal is punished, and that's the end of it. This was not the end of it. My head spinning, I went and sat down in my judgment seat, where I've made many judgments in the past. I kept thinking, what is truth? But they kept yelling in my ear louder and louder. They were incessant, crucify him, crucify him. And so I yelled in my most regal, biting tone, shall I crucify your king? And they said, we have no king but Caesar. And that's when I knew it was over. They had won. I watched as they yelled in triumph, as they spit and beat and mocked this innocent man that had turned my world upside down in a matter of hours. What is truth? How do you discern truth in your life? I'm not sure I even know anymore. But I have this sinking feeling. Jesus knew.